Hi, my name is Gigi and I'm from Illinois. Before I continue, please like and subscribe. Ever since I can remember, I have loved cars. I guess it's because my dad is a professional racer. I grew up hanging out with him at the racetrack and his pit crew always treated me like one of their own. Don't get me wrong, I'm totally a girly girl. I love to do makeup, get my nails done, shop for the latest trends, and post selfies on Instagram. But given the choice between a hairbrush and a socket wrench, well, you can't fix a car with a hairbrush. The year I turned 16, my dad was in a terrible accident while racing. It was so hard for my mom to see him in the hospital, but I did the best I could to help by keeping my little brother and sister in line while she was visiting him. I cooked and cleaned, and sure, I hated it, but I had been raised with a pit crew mentality. Everyone pitches in. I missed my dad, and I couldn't wait for things to get back to normal. At night, I would watch NASCAR videos on my phone under the covers, dreaming of the day that it would be me driving. One day at school, our mechanics teacher said he was offering extra credit for anyone who wanted to work on fixing up an old car after class. My arm practically came out of my socket as I raised it to volunteer. The boy sitting next to me sneered. "But you're just a girl." I took a wrench that I had in my zini purse and slammed it on his desk. "Okay, flyboy, what kind of wrench is this?" I was mad, but even though he was dressed in retro style, I couldn't help but notice his wavy blonde hair and steel blue eyes. He was kinda gorgeous. It was like I was watching a unicorn flip his mane in slow motion. I bet you're all thinking, "Focus, girl, this guy is trouble with a capital WTH." And then he answered as if he was teaching me something.
"Torque wrench. I can show you how to use it if you need a lesson."
Oh no, he didn't. The only lesson to learn here is how to get up from the floor when I knock you out. The whole class laughed at him. He pushed his chair back and got in my face. "Are we gonna fight?" The class started cheering. Did they really want to see me fight this gorgeous, annoying unicorn? Hold on, was this guy my nemesis? Smart, gorgeous, and into cars? Just like me? The teacher stepped in front of me before anything could happen while he stormed out of class. I was sent to the office and he got away. So unfair, right? As I was sitting in the office waiting, I spied him on the football field through the office window. His hood was up, but I knew it was him. I saw him hand another boy a small package in exchange for money. I had no idea what he was up to. I only knew that this is my school and I had to protect it from bad guys doing shady things.
"Since you're an honor student, I'm letting you leave this time, but I don't want any more messes, and I will talk to Diego about this later."
I thought if the principal wasn't gonna take this seriously, I was gonna figure out what this guy was really up to. After my next class, I was talking to some cute boys about our favorite subject, NASCAR, and they invited me to go dune buggy racing with them that weekend. Diego must have heard as he walked by.
"Dune buggy? I guess you can't drive a real car."
I followed him to confront him about his rude comment and saw him walk off alone to a lunchroom table. He took a half-eaten apple out of his pocket and started eating it. I stopped myself from gagging at the thought of eating what looked like something you would find in the trash. Gross. I needed to let him know that I was watching his every move, so I walked by him and gave him a dirty look. "What's the matter? Couldn't afford a whole apple?" He stood up, and I thought, this is it. I'm gonna wrestle him to the ground and search his pockets for evidence. Just then, my friends walked up to me, congratulating me for standing up to this bully earlier. But before they even noticed he was there, he put his hood over his head and darted away. "We heard what you did, girl." Chalk one up for girl power. Girls can do anything. I was loving all the positive attention. I was, after all, the hero of this story, but I couldn't believe he didn't challenge me. I expected more of a fight from my mortal enemy. I was thinking that was the end of it. But the next day, I saw him leaning on a locker and talking to another boy and whispering. As soon as they saw me, they stopped and walked in the opposite direction. My spidey senses were tingling. After school, I waited, hiding under the bleachers to follow him home. I had to see for myself what the deal was. My phone rang, startling me, and I nearly jumped out of my skin. It was my mom. I whispered so that I wouldn't give away my hiding spot. "Hi, Mom. I'm kind of busy right now." She asked me to pick up groceries on my way home. I wanted to go to the library. Can I do it after?" I felt bad lying to my mom, but I needed to have time to confront this worm, Diego. He came out the back door of the school, walked across the field to a hole in the fence, and slipped through. "Gotta go. Love you." I followed him, and as I hid from sight, I saw him walk up to this small, broken-down house. 3 little boys came running out to hug him. It was the first time he smiled all day.
Hi, guys. Come on, let's get you into the house before.
Just then, a loud car pulled up to the house, and Diego hurried the kids inside for safety. A very large, scary man leaned out of the window and just stared at Diego. Diego was clearly intimidated by this man. He dove into the house like he was trying out for the swim team. The car spun its wheels, screeching so loudly I had to cover my ears, and it took off down the street. But before it left, I managed to take a picture of the license plate. I knew he was up to no good, and now I had the proof. The next day after school, I waited for Diego again, but this time, I stopped him before he ducked through the gate.
What are you doing here?
What's going on? Are you breaking the law? Because we don't tolerate that in this school. I mean it, Diego.
Why are you spying on me? Don't you have a life?
I'm super connected at this school. I know everyone, and if you think that you're gonna...
Okay, fine. I'll tell you, but just to get you off my back. That's Leo. He keeps asking me to work for his chop shop, where they steal and sell illegal car parts.
I knew it. You're a criminal. Suddenly, he got really calm and touched my arm. We locked eyes, and for a second, I couldn't explain it, but I wanted to kiss him so badly. I know what you guys are thinking. Love him or hate him, girl, but pick a lane.
No, my dad worked for him as a mechanic, but when he found out that Leo was a criminal, he quit. And now he harasses my family all the time because he knows we're poor, but I always say no. My dad raised me better than that.
My mouth fell open like the Grand Canyon. I guess I never thought about him having good parents. I felt like the crumbs in the bottom of a toaster. I wish I could take back all the mean things I said, but instead, I kissed him. Yeah, I was as shocked as you were, and I was the one doing it.
Are you crazy? First you embarrass me in class, then you follow me around like TMZ, and now you want to be my girlfriend?
A girlfriend? Slow down there, Flash. It was just a kiss.
No, this is a kiss.
He kissed me back, and after a second, he shot me a shy smile. But then I remembered why I was there. Hey, you're trying to distract me.
Did it work?
Never mind that. What was all that sneaking around school, handing people mysterious bags?
If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were obsessed with me.
You wish. Now answer the question.
If you must know.
He pulled up his sleeve and showed me a leather cuff around his wrist.
I make these out of scraps and sell them. It's the only income I have since my dad isn't working.
I felt like a monster. I wouldn't have been surprised if I had horns and a tail at that very moment. Guys, has anyone ever said to you, don't judge people until you know what they're going through? I'm gonna get that tattooed on my forehead. I'm sorry that I judged you before I got to know you.
And yet, you kissed me.
I felt embarrassed, but then he started talking, and I got to know that he and his brothers live with their foster dad, who wants to adopt them, but he just needs a steady job first. And just then, my phone rang, startling me again. Man, I gotta change that ringtone. Oh, I have to take this. It's my mom. And without even listening to me, she burst into yelling so loudly that I had to hold the phone away from my ear.
You forgot to take out the trash and your brother dumped it all over his bed. Not to mention, I asked you to give your sister a bath. She's so sticky I could hang her from the ceiling.
Diego could hear her because it was so loud, and he laughed. When she heard him, she flipped her switch from angry mom to no personal space mom.
Are you hanging out with a boy? Oh, Jellyfish, I'm so happy for you. What's his name? Is he cute?
I was mortified. Didn't she know he might hear her? Mom, I'll be home soon, okay? She ranted on like a teenager on a sugar rush and yelled louder.
Don't rush on my account. Hello, Jellyfish's new friend.
Ugh, bye, Mom. I hung up and wished I had a time machine to erase that horrible moment.
Parents, right?
I'd better go.
Okay, see you tomorrow, Jellyfish.
Ugh, Mom. Ugh. Well, I couldn't stop thinking about Diego and how they barely had money for food. On my way home, I stopped and bought food to give them. When I got home, my mom saw the extra food, and before I had a chance to explain, she lost her mind.
Are you kidding me with all this extra food? Do you want the kids to call you Gigantic Gigi? But no buts. Except your butt'll get even bigger if you eat all this food.
I was so angry, and besides, I have a great butt. I'll bet JLo's mom never said that to her. Well, I asked her to calm down, and then I explained to her. After that, she flipped her crazy switch back to sweet again.
Oh, why didn't you say so? Let's go bring these to him.
She grabbed her keys, and my jaw hit the floor. How could she go from steaming hot to ice cold at the drop of a hat? We pulled up to Diego's house, but he burst out of the front door.
What are you doing here? Did you tell child services about me? I knew I couldn't trust you.
Was I dealing with another crazy person? Then I saw his little brother snuggled behind him in the doorway, and I realized he was protecting his family like a lion protects his pride. We just brought these groceries.
We don't need your charity.
Oh, That's too bad, because I brought peanut butter and jelly. His little brothers trampled him like a herd of gazelles. Peanut butter and jelly? Yay! I giggled at their unabashed honesty. Thank you, nice lady. Diego told them to take the groceries inside.
Sorry, I might have overreacted.
Might have? Okay, I'll forgive you if you promise never to call me jellyfish again.
Deal.
He reached out to shake my hand, but instead pulled me close, took off his wrist cuff, and wrapped it around mine.
To say thank you for...
And just then, my mom honked the horn and interrupted us. Parents, right? Just as we were about to pull away in the car, that same scary dude came screeching around the corner in his loud car. He pulled up next to my mom's car. I was freaking out. Was he gonna try to steal my mom's car? Or hurt her?
Stop. Don't you dare try anything. I will not.
He tried to stop them, but they laughed and scratched our car, just to terrify him. Mom ducked me into the car, and she floored it and sped off down the street like Mario Kart.
That Diego is nothing but trouble. You are never going to see him again.
No matter what my mom said, I couldn't wait for school to see Diego. But when I got there, I found out that my mom had called the principal and gotten him in trouble, so he would have detention all week. I tried calling Diego, but he didn't answer. So after school, I rushed to his house.
It's better you listen to your mom and stay away from me. I don't want you to get hurt.
I dashed towards my house and slammed the door open so hard that it shook the wall. Everything okay, Jellyfish? No! You got Diego detention, just so that you could stop me from seeing him? You know he's a great guy. And first, you want me to be friends with him, then you don't. Why have you been acting so crazy lately?
I just wanted you to be safe. Since your father's accident, I'm afraid of bad things happening to you. And I just want to protect you from getting hurt. I just love you so much.
Oh, Mom, but you can't wrap me in bubble wrap for the rest of my life. You raised me as a strong, smart girl, and you need to trust that I can make good decisions.
You're right. I guess I'll return that bubble wrap.
And then the next day, she went into high gear and fixed everything. She got Diego out of detention and reported the shady guys to the cops who got arrested. And the next month, my dad got back on track. And Diego's dad got a job with my dad's pit crew, allowing Diego and his siblings to finally be adopted. Diego was so thankful that he made me a PB&J sandwich in the shape of a heart and asked me to be his girlfriend. I, of course, said yes and immediately called my mom to tell her.
You called to tell me your happy news first?
Well, yeah, you're my best friend and the best mom. I love you.
I love you too, Jellyfish.
I couldn't help but be so grateful that Diego taught me not to be so quick to judge someone. You never know, they could wind up being family. As our rickety old sailboat bounced around in the stormy waves, only two thoughts crossed my mind. One, I really hoped my parents and I would be okay. And two, I better not lose my favorite earrings. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Hi everyone, I'm Mia from Greece. Please like and subscribe to find out how I got into this mess and how I got out of it. I grew up in one of the richest families in the country. My parents founded a renewable energy company before I was born, and now they had contracts with practically every government in the world. Everything I could possibly want was at my fingertips. All I had to do was ring a bell, literally. Because of how sheltered my life was, it took me a while to realize that not everyone shared our luxurious lifestyle. Dad, how come that lady opened her own door?
Her servant must have the day off.
I'll help her. As I got older and started high school, my dad hired a team of bodyguards to make sure I was safe. Of course, that made it almost impossible to talk to a boy, let alone find a boyfriend.
Hi, could you give a message to Mia? Stand by. Eric thinks you're really pretty and wants to take you out for milkshakes. Do you like him back?
Maybe I could talk to him myself and find out, but by the time my bodyguards were done doing a background check on Eric and interrogating him, he'd lost interest in me.
Good news! You've been cleared. Mia likes chocolate but is open to strawberries. Where are you going?
So that was frustrating. But besides that, I really had no complaints. I loved my life. I even had a successful handmade jewelry business that I'd started myself. Designing jewelry was my passion, and it made me proud to do this one thing that had nothing to do with my parents. See, a couple of years ago, I overheard my parents talking once.
You know I love her, but Mia is just so helpless. She can't even tie her own shoes. She'd be lost without her servants.
And ever since, I've been determined to prove my dad wrong. These earrings I wore all the time were the first things I ever made myself. They were proof that I could be independent and accomplish my goals without my parents' help. In fact, things were going so well with my jewelry business that I'd saved enough money to take my parents on vacation for summer break. They'd shown me so many amazing places growing up. I was excited to finally take them on a trip now. I bought a sailboat, but of course I couldn't afford something as fancy as my parents would have liked.
It looks like a light breeze could sink it.
That's what the life jackets are for. There were only 2 crew members, the captain and his assistant, a boy around my age. The boat was too small for my dad to bring my bodyguards, so for once, I could actually flirt. At least, I thought I could, until I realized someone even more annoying than my bodyguards was on board. Gavin, what are you doing here?
I stowed away. Man, this boat is a dump.
No one asked you. So, remember when I said I'd never had a boyfriend? Technically, that was only partly true. When I was 7, Gavin and I held hands one time at a roller rink, and he's been acting like we're soulmates ever since.
You, servant boy, I'd like a snack. You can help yourself to the refreshments, but you might want to wait until we reach calmer waters. There's a storm coming. Also, I have a name, Dominic.
Sure thing, Derek. I tried catching Dominic's eye to apologize, but he and the captain were focused on keeping the boat steady. Meanwhile, Dad was sulking in the corner. Dad, I know this isn't what you're used to, but could you at least try to enjoy yourself? Do you have any idea how much jewelry I had to sell to be able to afford this?
Yeah, I have some idea.
I was wondering what he meant by that, when suddenly the loud crack of thunder interrupted my thoughts. We all put our life jackets on and braced ourselves. Maybe my dad was right about the boat being unstable.
Everyone, hold on.
Just before a giant wave overtook us, I noticed a bracelet in my mom's purse. It was one of the ones I had designed, but I sold that to a customer. Why did my mom have it? Just then, the boat started to rock. My dad tried to grab my hand, but a wave pushed us apart, and then everything went dark. When I woke up, I was on the shore of a beach, and that boy Dominic was staring down at me like 2 inches away from my face. He was finally flirting back, and wow, those eyes. I closed my eyes for a kiss.
Whoa, what are you doing?
Weren't you just trying to kiss me?
No. I was seeing if you were breathing. Did you just try to cheat on me?
What the heck was Gavin doing here? All of a sudden, it all came back to me. Oh my gosh, where are my parents? Is everyone okay?
Breathe, they're fine. I saw them get onto the life raft. When I dove into the water to save you, we got separated from the others. Your boyfriend followed us.
He's not my boyfriend. We held hands one time.
We've been in love ever since.
Will my parents get here soon?
Not likely. This island's deserted. We'll be lucky if anyone finds us this week.
This week? Before I could ask more questions, Dominic took off down the beach. I hurried to catch up with him. Why did you even let us set sail if you knew a storm was coming?
It wasn't my decision, it was the captain's. And not that you'd understand, but some of us have to work for our money.
Actually, I run a successful small business, so you can save your lecture.
I'm sure you do. I'm gonna go to the jungle to find fresh water. Think you can catch us some fish?
Before I could answer, he left and disappeared into the jungle. Was he joking when he said it could be a week before anyone found us? I started to panic, but then I noticed I still had my earrings. Phew. Okay, time to focus, Mia. Let's see about catching those fish. Fortunately, the water was crystal clear, and there were a million colorful fish swimming just beneath the surface. Unfortunately, it's really hard to catch fish with your bare hands. Don't bother helping. I'll do it myself.
That's great, babe.
The sun was setting, and I still hadn't caught a single fish. I was exhausted, but I refused to give up. Dominic clearly expected me to fail, and I wasn't about to give him the satisfaction of being right. Finally, I caught not just 1, but 3, and just in time too, because Dominic was just getting back from his trek into the jungle.
Whoa, you actually caught something?
What, like it's hard?
You should have seen her struggling. It was hilarious. If it was so easy, maybe you could have cooked it too.
I'm not a 1950s housewife. I don't have to cook you dinner.
Guess you expect servant boy to do it for you?
Yes, thank you.
That would be great.
Actually, no. I was just about to start a fire.
This I gotta see.
Did he just trick me into cooking dinner for us? Whatever. I was too stubborn, not to mention hungry, to care at this point. If anyone asks, I got the fire going on my first try, and I didn't burn myself a single time.
This is pretty burnt. Yeah, babe, not your best work.
Next time, cook it yourselves. Of all the people to get stranded on a deserted island with, how did I end up with the two most obnoxious guys on the planet?
I was thinking we could divide our tasks. I'll keep going into the jungle to get us fresh water and berries. You keep fishing and maybe gather some coconuts, and we can alternate cooking duties. I'll keep watch in case our rescuers arrive. Yeah, you do that.
I agreed to Dominic's plan, but secretly, I was hoping we'd be rescued any minute now so I wouldn't have to put up with either of them anymore.
I like it burnt, by the way. I meant it as a compliment.
The next day, we did it all over again. While Dominic trekked into the jungle, I got started fishing.
So, how's your little business going? Have you finally gotten some customers besides your parents?
What? I have a bunch of customers. I remembered seeing my bracelet in my mom's purse. Wait a second. Were my parents the ones buying all my jewelry? My jewelry business? The one thing that made me independent? Was it all a lie? Just then, Dominic returned from the jungle.
Wow, you got a lot done.
Hope you weren't expecting dinner too.
It's my turn to cook, remember?
I hated to admit it, but Dominic was a much better chef than I was. The fish tasted delicious.
Hats off, Derek. Well done. I'm gonna go for a dip in the ocean. It's Dominic.
But Gavin already left.
Hey, so I wanted to clear the air. I may have acted like kind of a
jerk.
Yeah, I was just frustrated because I told the captain he should have canceled the voyage, but he was too greedy to say no to the money. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. I never said thank you for saving me, and I'm sorry for how Gavin treats you.
It's okay. I'm used to it. My mom worked 3 jobs to take care of me and my siblings. When she got injured, I started working to help pay the bills. People treat me like I'm their servant, even though I'm a skilled sailor. But one day, I'm gonna have my own sailing business, and I'll make enough money to buy my mom a new house. Sorry. You didn't ask for my life story.
I'm glad you told me. If we're gonna be stuck here together, we might as well get to know each other. Luckily, Gavin fell asleep right after his swim, and Dominic and I spent the whole night chatting without his dumb interruptions. I told Dominic all about my dream to be a successful jewelry designer. I even confided in him how I just learned that my parents were secretly buying all my jewelry themselves. Dominic didn't judge me or make me feel stupid, and he encouraged me to strike my own path.
I believe in you.
Before I knew it, the sun was coming up, and finally, I started to drift off. When I woke up, Dominic had already left on his daily trek into the jungle. I had this strange feeling. Was I happy? For a second, I almost forgot we were stranded on a desert island with no rescuers in sight.
Babe, look what I made for us.
Suddenly, I had an idea. I took the driftwood that Gavin just showed me.